Yes.
Well, first of all, before we continue, this traitorous fuck right here, okay? Him and I talked for 6, 9 months, a year, talking about we're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do a podcast.
We also-
All of a sudden, he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast with my girlfriend.
Because
Traitorous fuck.
Let
I
me
know
ask-
this is your fault. I've been with a Filipino. I know what you did to him.
So we got some good stuff to talk about today. We'll be talking about Chris Delia, me, Canyon, working on an animation for Brendan Schaub, and we'll take a look at how Khalyla made Bobby Lee betray Eric Griffin in the past. So I highly recommend you watch the entire video. Let's begin. So Whitney Cummings has been doing the rounds promoting her new Netflix special, and so far she's done the Flagrant podcast, Are You Garbage, and of course Tiger Belly. So naturally the question is, will she be doing The Fighter and the Kid? Because after all, she is very close, or was very close, to Brendan Schaub. Very, very close, in fact. They mentioned before how they had some type of chemistry way in the past, and it ended up not working out for some specific reason. Now, The Fighter and the Kid is not blowing up in monthly views, but it still has a very loyal fan base that watch them weekly and still pull about 120,000 views per episode. So it's not bad. It's not bad. Ever since Chris Delia and Brian Callen had those accusations back in 2020, Whitney Cummings has been trying to separate herself from them. And apparently now her and Chris Delia are no longer friends. This is confirmed by Chris Delia himself on his latest episode, where he pretty much shared a story about Whitney Cummings in the past and mentioned when we used to be friends.
Dude, I tweeted something about fucking, this was years ago, about pit bulls, about pit bull owners always fucking going to bat for pit bulls, saying that they're the sweetest fucking dogs, but you never see whatever the fucking tweet was. And like, dude, Whitney Cummings called me crying and shit, like, this is leading to fucking people, pit bulls dying. Pit bulls are gonna fucking die because of this tweet. And I'm just like, she used to be my friend, so I took the fucking tweet down.
Schaub and Delia obviously are very close. They have a podcast together. I guess if she doesn't go and do The Fighter and the Kid podcast, can we assume that they are also no longer friends? Maybe. Also, somebody shared some Twitter screenshots on a Reddit thread of text messages allegedly between Chris Delia and someone else, a girl apparently. I won't go too into details because I don't think there's much there. I read the conversation, and the conversation itself is a little bit stupid. It could be fake, so for now, we won't talk about that. Next, if you know who Me Canyon is, you know that he does very good animation work. One of the best, very entertaining. Some of his most popular videos actually have over 30 million views, which is crazy. Well, he is working on a video for Brendan Schaub, and it's going to be insane. I'm actually working on a video talking about how the Brendan Schaub drama, Hating Brendan Schaub, has officially evolved from the comedy scene and is now known by the mainstream YouTube community. They actually bring him up. Many huge YouTubers like Penguin Z0, who has over 10 million subscribers, have actually shouted out Brendan Schaub for being the worst comic out there, which is pretty sad. And other YouTubers have done great work covering the entire Brendan Schaub situation lately. So when it comes out, it's going to be a fun day for all of us. So keep an eye out on that one. Okay, let's end the video by talking about Bobby Lee addressing his breakup with Khalyla and looking back at how Khalyla manipulated Bobby Lee into betraying Eric Griffin. And if you made it this far, please hit the subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel a lot, and I will be uploading content at least twice a week. Thank you. So we'll be looking at a clip from an old Tiger Belly episode in 2016 in which Eric Griffin straight up just calls out Khalyla to her face for manipulating Bobby Lee into doing the podcast, the Tiger Belly podcast, with her instead of him, because originally the idea for the Tiger Belly podcast had been planned out by Eric Griffin and Bobby Lee before. For about 7 months they had been working on that idea. This is insane to me because I never really cared if Khalyla was a gold digger and was financially benefiting from Bobby Lee. I really didn't. It's a tough world out there, and it's survival of the fittest. But the one thing that did bother me about their relationship was how Bobby Lee gave her all the credit.
You know, in many ways, she's the love of my life. She reinvented my career. We started Tiger Belly with nothing. We just bought equipment from Guitar Center and we just started doing it.
like how he was always pushing all the credit towards her for starting the podcast and for growing the podcast, which was completely insane. It just didn't make any sense at all. It didn't sit well because Khalyla had no previous experience with producing a podcast or with social media or the entertainment industry before. On the other hand, Bobby Lee was actively in the show business. He was acting. He was a funny comedian. He still is a funny comedian, but he was a comic then, and he was close friends with everybody who is a huge podcaster now. But you're telling me that Khalyla was what made the podcast work? I don't think so. Now, Bobby Lee went on this podcast and talked about the breakup. I highly recommend you take a listen to the entire thing, but I'll let you know what I gathered from the explanation. To me, it sounds like Bobby Lee is trying so hard to be nice to Khalyla and keep her reputation clean. He explains that it was actually his fault that the relationship ended and explains the reasons why. The main one essentially being that he didn't give her enough attention. Then he says something very interesting. He unconsciously says that he doesn't believe that the reason why they broke up is actually that bad.
If
no harm, no foul.
No, but here's the thing, though. Here's my thing, okay? Is if I wasn't making money, right, that's one thing, right? But I go on the road. If I book a movie or TV show, I do that. I show up on time. I know my lines. I know the character. You know what I mean? I sold a couple of shows, one with Theo Von at Fox, right? I'm going to get the showrunner for that. You know what I mean? And I'm going to go into the writer's room and try to figure this out, right? And me and Theo came up with the idea. So I creatively, I do all the things I need to do to make money and to be productive in that way, right? If I was a guy that was just smoking weed all day and doing that, that's one thing, right? But I'm not a loser, right? It's just that I don't want to go to Veggie Grill. And you know what I mean? I don't.
Well,
because at the end of the day, he believes that he is still providing for her financially. He is working on multiple projects, being creative, and that is his way of providing for the family. But keep in mind, he doesn't say one negative thing about her, not one. So she had no fault in this at all. That's hard to believe. Bobby Lee says that he doesn't want to go out and explore the world and he likes to stay at home. Obviously, Khalyla doesn't want that. Now that she is making pretty good money, is 37 years old, which some people consider that would be the peak of your life. Of course, she doesn't want to do that and she wants to get out there and enjoy life. Why would she stay at home playing games with Bobby Lee? Interesting. But what has changed now? I mean, we all assumed that was going to be the future for Bobby Lee. I mean, what did you expect? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching and have a good one. Peace.